It is Saturday the 3rd of August. We are at Big Belly Comedy Club doing the Ding Dong Gong show. We've done it twice before when it was in Vauxhall. It's changed venue. I've passed it once when I wasn't particularly good and kind of got through it, kind of scrape of my teeth. That's not the saying, but whatever. Skin of my teeth. Because there was a guy that kind of shouted out and I had a retort for him, and I think that just kind of put me in good stead and got me some good graces with the audience. The second time I did it, I was probably a bit too confident. I was talking to this guy before, he'd done 20 gigs, and he was kind of talking how he thought he was pretty decent. And he was just performing. He went on and he murdered. I was like 100 gigs in at this point, or plus. I think I had the most gigs out of everyone that was there. And it was one of the worst bummers I've had, sort of probably throughout any gig I've done. So who knows what's going to happen. I don't know what it's going to be like, but I've got a big Gong show in a couple of weeks. I haven't done my 5-minute set in a long time, so I'm not really sure how it's going to go. I'm hungry. I've been playing tag and I've re-injured my hamstring a little bit. Don't feel massively prepared, but I'm actually looking forward to it, so let's see.
What a show. Hello my people, you alright?
Yeah.
Yes, my name is Chris Alley. I started stand-up comedy just over 2.5 years ago. Which is crazy to think, because back then I actually had hope. But it's been going alright, it's been going pretty well. I've been getting some good feedback here and there. Obviously not here, but a lot of other places that like me. But the thing is, right, people have been coming up to me after gigs and saying, Chris, I really like your comedy, but it's just a bit too black. I mean, like, what am I supposed to do? Joke like I'm a white person? I don't like skiing. What even is a quiche? Fucking eggy bed in my house. I remember the first time someone came up to me after a gig and told me my comedy was too black. I almost spat the fried chicken out my mouth. Do you know what I mean? I was so mad I just wanted to shank him. No, do you know, I was so upset about it, right? I went over to tell my dad about it and I realised, oh, I haven't got one. Too black, do you know what I mean? But, we got any football fans in the house? Yes. I'm a big football fan, me. Big football fan. Trying to become a medium-sized football fan. No. Still holding on to that Christmas weight since I was 12. But, you might have heard about this, right? The Premier League recently released this list of the most influential black people in football, right? So, really good stuff. So players like Rashford and Saka, and the other one that missed. Guess what they called it? They called it the blacklist. I know, outside of being massively offensive, I just think it lacks creativity. Like, what is idiots going to come up with next? The most influential Slovakians in football and call it the checklist? I know you're trying to recognise black people, but calling the list of black excellence a blacklist is almost as bad as putting an all-black political party together and calling that party slave labour. That's a good fucking joke, right? You guys are fucking... I'm sick of this shit right now. No, did anyone in here grow up with like a bit of an annoying dad? Yeah? Must have been nice. Expecting showing off at this point. But no, I grew up with a single mum. Wonderful single mum. Growing up she did all the typical things a dad would do, We'd go and play football. She talks about girls, what she called slag. She even taught me how to shave. It's hard to get between those legs, but I'm a good son, what can I say? But something else about me is I grew up with a twin brother, so so nice I made me twice. As my mum likes to say, 2 mistakes for the price of 1. You silly bitch. But the thing is, right, when people see my twin brother together, they say I look exactly like him, which really pisses me off, because I think he's ugly, alright? But my twin brother's gay, which is great, but when he came out when he was 18 years old, which is great. He was telling friends and family. The only problem I have is that I'm a big homophobe. Big homophobe. Trying to become a medium-sized homophobe, but that was a call back you didn't get.
2 dogs.
The thing is, like, when he came out, it really wasn't a surprise.
3 dogs.
Ali, Mooch, Judge, Numero Trot. What do you think of our friend Chris Ali?
I liked him. I'm a complete piece of shit. So you almost had the trilogy there of racism, misogyny, and homophobia, but you didn't quite get to misogyny. But I thought it was a set that's probably better suited for like a Saturday night rather than a Saturday afternoon. You did repeat some of the jokes there. They're a little bit cliche, with the sort of classic racism stuff. But I thought you did them quite well, and I quite like horrible humour that you have. So unfortunately, the audience didn't. So tough.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'd say, I don't know what to say, man, because I've seen you gig a few times, it's sort of Palafine, but it just sort of wasn't quite your thing. It's quite difficult to get everyone on board, alright? This guy over here is really like putting the wind up the whole front row, right? And the whole front row are fucking mental now, okay? So that's sort of affecting the whole room. So it's sort of a straight, sorry, no, I'm only saying that because you are deep down a psychopath. So, importantly, it's tricky to get everyone on board, is what I'm trying to say. So you need to go in, and the stuff, I don't know, it was, the black stuff I thought was really funny, right? But like, there's a whole section of like 5 millennials, and every single one of them is called Karen, okay? On the front row, so I think it was going quite over their heads quite a lot. But I don't know, dudes. I mean, do it again. I'd say even go harder. I agree with Mooch. It's like sort of Saturday night thing. But I'd commit. I'd go even fucking harder next time. But it wasn't quite your show. But maybe I don't know. Mark, do you agree with that?
So, yeah, I mean, I agree with most of what you said there. And also, you mentioned that you have a gay brother called Matthew, who's your twin brother, and genuinely I can never remember which of you two is which. By name. Yeah.
Have you borrowed his top for today? Just out of it? Those nipples are turning me on, and I'm not gonna get.
Making me self-conscious now.
Stop it.
I was going to say, I couldn't remember which one was the gay one and which one was the straight one, then you walked in on those shorts and I was like, oh, it's the straight one. Okay, no gay man's dressing like that respectfully ever.
This is not a black man's day today, is it?
I mean, your twin brother's also black, I'm assuming.
We're both guessing.
But I think your set is a hard Gong Show set. It's quite aggressive. It's quite like I mean, announcing in a room full of people that you are a homophobe. I assumed you were going to get to a punchline which they didn't let you get to. So now the entire room just thinks you're a homophobe. and now we're never going to find out anything to the contrary. He's absolutely a homophobe. Don't let him tell you anything different ever. I think like you've got some strong jokes. I think it's not necessarily the best environment for it. What you do is a thing that a lot of new acts do, where you go up in your inflection at the end of every sentence. That's a really natural thing, and a lot of new acts do it. And you'll find just as you get more and more comfortable saying that'll go away. Just be sort of mindful of that, and it'll be easy to get rid of. I think that's
all right. Fair play. Give it up for him.
Thank you very much.
So, not so good. I'm just going to say it outright. I refuse to accept this as a bomb. It is not a bomb. It was not my day. The first section was very, very, very tough. But this is stuff that I've used before. And, afternoon gigs, London Gong shows, whatever you want to call it, it just wasn't the one for me today. The Gong shows are tough. They can be a bit fickle. But I guess the only kind of overriding thoughts I have now really is, some of the critics. The hardest thing about this Gong show is that there's criticism afterwards. You get judges that sort of say some things about your set. One of them, David Lewis, who I know very, very, very well. He said, I think we're pals now, which is great for me. He had some things to say. The judges did, but I don't know how you can really judge it, to be honest, because a lot of the time how your comedy is perceived is how well it goes in a room, and there wasn't a lot available there for anyone. I mean, if I was the only one that bombed, then maybe I would be a little bit more heartfelt around it all. But I've had enough experiences. I've done enough good gigs, done enough Gong shows, and actually passed a few of them as well. That one included, when I was absolutely rancid. So I know it's still a work in progress, but I ain't fussed really. Even though it sounds like that, and I've got all this beer and I'm about to have some weed, but yeah, I don't know if it's with some of the judgment though. Like they said it with a few comics, and I don't know if it's just a London thing or they're just saying it because they need to just fill the void. But it is. I think I'm always going to have a bit of a tough time in London if how me and other I guess non-white people are going to be perceived in terms of our stuff saying that it's racist and misogynistic and all this other stuff. If that's going to be the overriding thought, one, I would hope to think that someone who is in the game would have a better understanding of what we're trying to achieve with it. But then to make that as a point of focus, I think I'm always just going to have a tough time. I mean, you heard what they had to say, and some of it I agreed with. I think the way in which I do the tonation of my stuff does need work, but that's old stuff. I know that the stuff I've got now that I'm working on is very much less with the kind of, oh, this is a joke, you know, set up joke, and it has a bit more conversational style to it. So I'm all right with that. I know that's part of what I need to do, but I think calling what I'm doing and calling what the other comics doing as racist, misogynistic, and all this other stuff, maybe that's part of the Gong Show stuff, but you know, I don't know. They ain't that great. I'm just walking up to my friends right now. I'm gonna tell them my gales of how much I bombed. You alright? It's just gonna be brutal. I'm just gonna get really, really high. There's some old people there. We'll see how we get on. But yeah, I guess we are on to the next one.